we just got, without a doubt, the biggest update of college football 25. This update's got a ton of things people have been waiting for. There's a bunch of gameplay changes, including fixing a lot of the meta defenses, which is the same thing we saw in Madden recently. We've got a bunch of fixes for Dynasty mode, including the custom schedules, which a lot of people have been waiting for. There were tons of new uniforms and helmets added. There was new equipment added. There was a big ability update throughout the game as well for all the top players and more. Now, if you are new to the channel and you never want to miss out on any of these important videos, make sure you subscribe and turn the bell icon on, because every month we get multiple updates for this game, and sometimes you could be missing out on some very important information. You know, more than half of you that watch the channel aren't even subscribed, so you could be missing out and you don't even know it. Now, this is one of those big updates where I'm going to have to make 2 videos. I'm going to go over most of the information in this video, and then in a follow-up video, I'll actually go in depth and show you all the new uniforms. I'll try to find all of the ability updates that I can, because they didn't list them in the patch notes. They just said that there were ability updates, so I'm going to try to go through and find the ones that I know for sure, and I'll post all of that in a separate video. But let's get into the info. So let's start out with gameplay. The first thing they mention here in the notes is that they refreshed the ability loadouts of players in front-end rosters. It says the ability changes are based on current player performance this season and changes to their ratings. We focused on the top 25 teams in the game and their players. This will result in players like Ashton Genty receiving an upgrade in his abilities. Make sure to check out your favorite players to see if they've had any changes. Now, I've looked through a few, and I'm going to look through some more later and do a separate video, but some other players I noticed that had more abilities were Kyron Lacey from LSU, because he didn't have any abilities before and now he does. Ryan Williams, the freshman receiver for Alabama, didn't have abilities before, now he does. The Navy quarterback, who's been playing very well this season, he has additional abilities outside of Option King, which is the only one he had before. But basically, most of the top players, especially within those top 25 teams, the big name guys probably got either some additional abilities, or they probably got some of their abilities tiered up. So if they had a silver or a gold ability, it could now be a platinum ability, for example. Moving on here, they reduced the frequency of pitches out of tackles missing the pitchback on options. That was definitely a bug that happened a few updates ago, so I'm glad they fixed that. They fixed the aftershock ability inappropriately triggering on blocks. They fixed an issue where using a cover 3 shell on a cover 1 blitz play versus empty flex or trio would result in the tight end being left open. This was also an issue in Madden, so they carried that fix over here. They fixed an issue where using 2 high coverage shell, cover 2 and cover 4 on nickel over double bracket would cause the defense to align in a single high safety look. And there were some other coverage fixes as well, where using a cover 2 shell on a cover 1 play would result in the tight end being left unguarded, or when using a cover 0 shell on a cover 2 man versus an empty look would result in receiver being left unguarded in the inside. So basically, these are just coverage shell changes. There's a new option in the game where you can change your coverage shell, so you can come out in a cover 2, for example, but you can show a cover 3. And sometimes when you would use certain shells with certain coverages in certain formations, it could have some problems versus other offensive formations. So they cleaned all that stuff up. They also made some coverage updates, which they carried over from Madden. They added box call logic to cover 4 quarters and cover 4 palms to better cover bunch formation route combinations. So basically, these are just to help stop some of those popular route combos that people like to use out of bunch, like flood concepts and stuff like that. Not sure how well this worked in Madden. I think it's better than it was before, but, you know, it's still a video game. It's still kind of easy to exploit things at times. They fixed an issue where giving a safety on the left side of the field an outside third assignment would assign him to play the outside third on the other side of the field. This was also a bug in Madden that was existing in this game. They fixed it, so now you can put a safety and an outside third on the left, whereas before it would glitch and he would go to the right. And this is pretty big adjustment, because a lot of people like to make the outside third adjustments for safeties because they defend the sidelines a little bit better. They also fixed an issue where some press animations would press the receiver 10 yards down the field. They also did some stuff with pass blocking, which I know a lot of people like to hear. They addressed an issue where using the defensive lineman slant inside command would cause defenders to rush into the same gap. They also changed the functionality of defensive lineman shifts on double A gap defensive formations to eliminate unrealistic alignments. They fixed an issue where pass block targeting lines were not appearing when the user would enter pass block assignments, and they added new logic for defenders to no longer be able to instantly disengage to the outside if they're giving a slant inside D-line adjustment. Basically did the same thing in Madden as well. All of those defenses like double mug and the different A-gap defenses where people would kind of glitch through the line or quickly disengage, they're not going to work anymore. They don't work in Madden. It was a successful fix there. It appears that it's been a successful fix in college football as well, which is really good for a lot of people, because when you go online, you see a lot of those meta defenses where people get kind of that instant pressure up the middle. So you're not really going to see that as much anymore, at least out of the formations that people were using, like double A gap. That stuff is fixed. The new best defense in the game, in my opinion, are the 3-4 defenses. They got some really good blitzes. In fact, I just posted the best defense in the game on my Patreon last night. Link is up on the screen. I have a 7-day free trial, so you can get it for free at no cost to you. But this is the best defense in both Madden and college football right now, since the other meta stuff has now been patched. So if you want to check that out, you can see the link there on the screen. They also fixed a couple of settings and UI issues here. They fixed an issue where users would not get any clock runoff with the accelerated clock turned on for online head-to-head ranked games. And they fixed an issue where the switch stick delay setting that a user would set would not stick once the user changed the menu. Again, carried over from Madden, these same problems existed over there. So the clock runoff has been fixed, and now when you change your switch stick settings in your menu, it should stay. Now we're going to continue on with the rest of the updates, and trust me, there's a lot of them, but really quickly, I do want to shout out today's video sponsor, Underdog. They've been a huge supporter of the channel, and if you like sports and you like winning money, then you've got to be on Underdog playing their pick'em game. Basically, all you have to do is pick higher or lower on player stats, and if they hit, you can win some big money. But the best thing about Underdog is they give you free plays when you sign up, and they give you free money to play with, so who doesn't like that? So for example, if you sign up and you want to play for tonight's Thursday night football game, they're going to give you Matthew Stafford to get a single yard. That means all you have to do is get 1 yard, and that's it, you win. If you like playing NBA this weekend, they're going to give you Victor Wembanyama to get a single point. If you want to wait and play on NFL Sunday this week, they're going to give you Dak Prescott to get a single yard. Or Monday night, they're going to give you Russell Wilson to get a single yard. Basically, no matter when you sign up, no matter the sport, there's going to always be a free play like this for you to take advantage of. And if you use my code RAY, R-A-Y, they'll also give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash at sign up, and you just can't beat that. Moving on to Dynasty, they fixed an issue with the power lineman archetype where they would not progress pass block finesse. They updated the Bryant-Denny Stadium to be the Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. They fixed an issue where the prospect list performed a full refresh every time a recruit was targeted. They made various news story fixes. They resolved an issue preventing custom schedules from working properly. This is probably the biggest one right here. We'll have to see if it went through and it worked, because sometimes they say they fixed something and there may still be an issue or two, so we'll have to test that out, but that's something people have been waiting for quite a while. They fixed an issue with how weights were displayed in the team needs screen. They fixed an issue where the free practice tile would not always appear in the Dynasty Hub. Sometimes you'd have to back out and go back in, so now you shouldn't have to do that. They fixed an issue where you cannot super sim from the play call screen when playing as a coordinator. That's another nice fix, a quality of life fix there. Increased the amount of wear and tear damaged body parts recover on week advance. So it looks like you'll probably recover a little bit more on your body parts and wear and tear, so that should be a welcome change. And they said here, when viewing a recruit in the recruiting board, you are now able to change which recruit you're looking at by going up and down on the right stick. They also made a number of Ultimate Team fixes, which I will pop up on the screen. I know most of you here that watch me aren't the biggest Ultimate Team players, but one important one that I did see was that they included Play a Friend as a playable mode. Wasn't sure about why that wasn't there before. Maybe that was just an accident. I don't think that was supposed to be the case, but now you can do Play a Friend in College Ultimate Team, which is a pretty big deal. Road to Glory, kind of like every update, isn't seeing too much. I don't think we're going to see a lot with Road to Glory until the next iteration of the game. It said that they made various scenario fixes, and they removed the rogue pickup basketball scenario that triggers multiple times for some players. So you shouldn't see that triggering over and over anymore, but that's all we got for Road to Glory. Moving on to presentation and UI updates. So there were a lot of uniforms and uniform pieces added in this update. I did get a list of some of the stuff that was added, so I'll be making a separate video, but here's the list of all of the stuff that was added here. You can see, I mean, they got stuff for Florida State, SMU, UCF, Ole Miss, Oregon, Colorado, Texas A&M, Toledo, Air Force, Arizona State, James Madison. I mean, you name it. And they also updated pre-existing uniform pieces for the 2024 season for teams like SMU, Kent State, New Mexico, Washington State, Ohio State, and Florida Atlantic. Now, I'm going to show you just some of the uniforms that were added, some of the big ones that I know you've been waiting for. The Miami All Blacks finally are in the game. We've been waiting a few months. They're finally here. The FIU Miami Vice are also in the game. Those are two of the most requested ones. They're now added. The SMU red jerseys are now in the game. The Oregon Heroes jerseys, those are now in the game. The new Space U uniforms for UCF, those are also in the game. The Illinois retro jerseys that they just wore, I believe, last weekend with the retro helmet, those are in the game. There's a bunch of new ones. Like I said, I'm going to do an entire video and go over all of the ones that I know for sure, as well as showing all the equipment updates and the ability updates, because there's a lot of different stuff. Another thing that I know people have been asking about, I'll just throw in there real quick, they did finally add add the white Texas A&M helmet as well. They added the new Ole Miss helmet that they unveiled a few weeks ago as well. So a lot of new uniform stuff in the game. Now it says here they also added 718 new NIL players. Now these I might need your help with. I don't know what new players were added. There are probably a lot of younger players, a lot of freshmen. It could be some older players in there too. They added NIL players a few updates ago. They're now adding more. So if you notice any new players that are in the game, please let me know below in the comments because I can throw that in the video, at least some of the bigger name guys. But looks like we got a bunch of new players in. It also says here that the competition Nissan Stadium has been added to the game as well, which I believe is the Titans Stadium. I don't know if any college teams play there. Maybe it's a bowl stadium, but that has now been added to the game. And it also says there were additional ratings updates for players, and they also updated team overall team rankings. It says these rankings changes are exclusive to Play Now and Road to the College Football Playoff. So it looks like we may have gotten another roster update thrown in here. Probably not a massive one like the last one, but maybe they changed some jersey numbers that were still wrong. Maybe they fixed some ratings on some players that they didn't address before. I looked through briefly. I didn't really notice any ratings changes, but maybe you guys will notice some. But it does say that they updated the team overall rankings probably to match kind of how they're playing this year. So something else to be on the lookout for. And here's something else that's interesting. They added something to Team Builder. It says they're introducing Adobe Express integration for Team Builder. Team Builder is getting an upgrade. We're excited to announce a new partnership with our friends from Adobe. Adobe Express, a content and design generation tool, is now integrated as an optional feature into Team Builder, allowing you to express your creativity and customize your experience in more ways than ever. To utilize the tool, head to your logos page and click Create with Adobe Express. Simply create an Adobe account or log in with an existing one to instantly access up to 25 credits to use towards logo generation or design from scratch with the powerful design elements built into Express. Now, I've never used Adobe Express. I'm sure some of you here probably have. I'm just guessing this is going to make creating logos and things for Team Builder even better. So that's pretty cool that they're adding more functionality there for Team Builder. Love to see that. Now, it wasn't listed here in the notes, but we also got some new equipment that they snuck into the update. Again, I'll go over all of that in a separate video just so this video does not drag on too long. But it looks like they did add a lot of the stuff that Madden has gotten recently. So if you're familiar, Madden has gotten a lot of new face masks for helmets like the Exium and the Vices 02 and the Shut F7. Here are a few of those up on the screen right now. You can see some of those new face masks. A lot of people were asking when we were getting those, and I heard that we would get them at some point this year. I thought maybe it could be this update, and it looks like it is going to be this update. So there are, probably over 20, 25 new face masks in the game. I'll have to look and track them all down. I also did notice that they added the Jordan 11 mid cleats, which were just added, I believe, last week in the Madden update. They have added those into the game now as well. So we got the Jordan 11 mids. So they're doing pretty good, I think, with the updates. They're carrying over the stuff from Madden that they can for the most part. We've already gotten a roster update. We now have a big ability update. We've gotten, probably over 100 uniform pieces since this launch of the game. They've been adding more and more. We've gotten new plays. They've fixed a lot of the meta stuff and the glitchy stuff. It appears that they have fixed most of the dynasty issues in terms of things that weren't working properly. So I feel like these first few updates of the year, they've definitely done a pretty good job. They've added a lot of new players as well. So I'm liking kind of the pace they're at right now. Every update seems like it's delivering a good amount of stuff. Now, there are some very important settings in this game that a lot of people don't know how to utilize properly, and if you want to know how to do this so that you can win more games, make sure to check out this video right here on the screen.